Hi you guys, and welcome to the Radish Patch Button Helper video. If you're watching this, welcome to my little studio, and thanks for joining in, and I'm excited that you are about to embark on the exciting and also important journey of button repair, because you will probably find that you can use this skill for all sorts of things, and now you won't be stuck having to find someone else to do it for you. So follow along and be patient with yourself, because learning something new is tricky, but you can do it. So here's my button. I'm going to say it's in the wrong place. So on the strap, you either want it to be a little tighter, so it has to go higher, or maybe you need to be a little looser on your overalls, so you're going to go a little lower. So first thing you'll need to do is take it off. If you are in a household that perhaps has a seam ripper, one of these, easiest thing to do is, because the buttons are a little bit sensitive and you don't want to damage them while you take them off, I would actually go through kind of either the middle where the stem is here, you can see that, or actually even the back is a good place to go and just see if you can kind of pick it off in this way over here. If you can't do that and you don't have a seam ripper, another easy thing to do would be to get a little toothpick and put it in here between the thread and the button, and once it's a little bit loose, just use a scissor and cut it off. Just take your time, and so that you'll have a nice clean area, and then you'll pick out any thread that's there, and it'll have a little indentation in the fabric, but that will quickly go away when you wash it, because this is a natural fiber and it does actually reconfigure itself every time you wash it a little bit. That's the beauty of these natural fibers. Okay, and next I'm going to show you now how to sew the button on. Okay, so what you need now is your button that you've taken off. If you have lost the button, no big deal. You can find any other 1-inch button and that will do the trick. If you have a pin, that would be handy, and you will have your sewing thread from your button kit, which has a knot already on there for you. Just going to make one on mine here. So, and of course you need your overalls, which I happen to have right here. So how I start is get myself or the person that I am trying to measure into their overalls, and what I like to do is indicate where I need to put the button by just putting a pin in the very top of the bib. So you can see that right here. I've got it's lined up like this. Now, because that's exactly where I want my strap to be, and so I'll just line it up like that. Next thing I'm gonna get you to get is a pencil crayon. So a light colored pencil crayon or a bright colored pencil crayon works really well. And you are going to take that pencil crayon and you're going to lay this down flat like so. And you're going to take your pencil crayon, and right in the middle of your buttonhole, right in the very middle, you're going to just make a little dot, and that will mark the spot. So, ta-da, magically, you will hopefully be able to see my little red dot. If you use a white or a yellow pencil crayon, probably even better. So that's where we're going to be our midpoint. It might be a little off center, but you're going to want to go in the middle. Now, because there are two button holes, or little holes in the button, I guess, you just want to center it. So it's just, yeah, you know how to do center. But that's where we're going to want our button to go. So we start by taking our needle, and we're going to go on the right side of the dot, and we're going to go into the left side of the dot. So you're going to start from the front where you've got your pin still in. You're going to go from the front, and then you're going to make approximately a 1/2 inch, or I would say, what is that in metric? I'm going to say 1/2 inch, 5 millimeters. Approximately there. You're going to go right, depending on where you put your button, we're going to go right in the center there. This is sort of where the rest of our stitching will go. So take your time to kind of find a good spot. Make sure it's lined up with the dot that you have put. And you're going to sew it up. Go nice and slow with this doubled up thread. It can sometimes get knotty. Okay, so you can see here we have the first bit of sewing into our strap. We're going to take our button now. Oops. And we are going to try not to throw it around too much. We're going to make sure it's going the right way. So you don't want it to be upside down or even backwards. We're going to make sure this is the way the button is facing, because this is going to be the front of your overall. So we're going to go through the back of the left buttonhole, like so. There we go. And now we're going to go through the right hand side, through the front of the button. So your button should look like this. The string is here, you through the back, the front, and then out the back again. Now you're going to take this back thread and you're going to go reinsert your needle exactly where your little knotted string end is. Right in there, because you're creating basically 2 points where your button will be attached through the buttonhole. So again, when your thread is doubled up, I guess sometimes it does get knotty, so just do it really slowly, I would say. Okay, your button is now snug up against your strap. Make sure it is where you want it to be. If it's too much to the side, you probably will need to start again, and the way to do that is pull it out. You'll probably have to snip it here because you have a double thread, which is easier for sewing, but you won't be able to take it out that way. So you can start again by just snipping, putting a knot, and start at the beginning, but I always think that's the best way to learn. So it's okay if you've done it wrong the first time, no big deal. Okay, so it's on. You're going to flip your work over and you can see there's our first little bit of sewing done. So it's coming out the one side, and you're going to just put it in the other side. It should actually easily go through the buttonhole because you've got them lined up. And we're going to do this 3 times. So I've got 1, and go through the front. And we'll speed it up so you don't have to watch me. All right, so I have done that 3 times, and I'm ending on a stitch that is up so you can see the thread from the top. Next, you're going to push apart a little bit so you want the back of your button exposed, and you're going to go into the right hand side of your button, only through the button, not through the fabric. Pull it all the way through, and now what you're going to do is create a stem. And the magic of a hand sewn button is this stem, and this stem makes your button stay on a lot longer. I'm not sure the science, but it just does. So we're going to go clockwise 3 times to create the stem. So we go 1, 2, 3. Now we don't want that to be loose, so we're going to take our needle and go right as close as we can to the back. Doesn't have to be an exact science. We're going to go through to the back. We want our thread to be at the back again, the very back. So there we go. Now what you will see, whoop, it is knotting up a little bit, which is sometimes happens. So we are now going to look at the back where our thread is coming out, and you will see our little row of back and forth stitching that we have behind our button. And now again, everything was 3, so we went through the button 3 times with our thread. We did our stem 3 times around, and now to end it off, we're going to go 3 times, and this is to secure it so it won't come apart. So we'll go through just the thickest part of our thread. It might be a little tricky. Again, just go slow. So 1, 2, and 3, and that is, whoop, sometimes it gets a little stuck. And that is what we would say is done. So we're going to take our snippers, cut off the end, and there you have your buttonhole in the right place. So we're going to take that button and Put it through our buttonhole. Should be no problem, fits right through. And there you go. Your first ever hand sewn button. Well done, very proud of you. Looks great. You'll probably have to do it to the other side. Again, if you are missing buttons, if some have fallen off, feel free to contact me. I can definitely send you another one. Or if you have a funky different button that you'd like to put on, just remember it's a 1-inch button you'll want to put on there. Any thickness will probably work. Okay. Thanks again for watching. This is how it should look with both buttons facing up and with maybe a big grin on your face because you're proud of yourself of what you did. I certainly am. If you're really struggling and you live in Fernie, BC, you can just give me a message and I'll help you out. No problem. Talk to you soon.